right. Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here, especially with the Techno team. This is just an amazing experience for me, and I'm super excited I get to talk about this amazing topic. It's something that actually has been on my mind so far, and I'm just happy to share some insight with you all today. So, first off, so my topic is basically why diversity matters in tech. And this is just a brief intro about me. My name is Chiamaka Okenwa. I am a software engineer. I've been working in the software industry for about 2 years now, and I'm currently working as a backend engineer. My major language is Java, and I basically just focus on product design and development. So aside from that, I also am invested in the developer communities. I am currently a developer advocate for Unstack Africa. I've also hosted a couple of other conferences as well. I recently just had a talk on the GitHub Africa meetup. And then I had a talk at a conference, which is the Java 2 Days conference. So I'm pretty excited to be here. I have my Twitter, which is amakachi_, and my LinkedIn, which is my full name, just Chiamaka Okenwa, in case you'd like to reach out to me for anything at all. So let's get right into it. So why why diversity, And for me, I stumbled across this topic because I wanted to first of all share some of my personal experiences. I had an interview one time for a company, and I happened to be the only girl during the final interview actually. And for me, I was quite nervous, and I just started losing my confidence because I was just saying that do I even fit in? Am I supposed to be here in the first place? And I remember it was a struggle for me because I then now realized the huge gender gap in the tech space. And now I see why a lot of people are advocating for diversity, and bringing forward more women in tech. So, what does diversity even mean? So, according to the Merriam Webster Dictionary, diversity is the inclusion of different types of people from different race, from different backgrounds, from different culture in a group or organization. So, diversity simply means inclusion. Inclusion is a feeling of belonging. It's an effort that is ingrained into the ethos of a company or an organization whereby everybody is culturally and socially accepted regardless of their backgrounds or their differences or their gender or anything else. So inclusion is equal treatment and a welcoming environment for everyone. I believe inclusion is very, very important in organizations, and now we'll see why. So, some interesting facts to note by some reports. In 2016, women held only 25% of all computing jobs in the US. In 2018, there were fewer than 1 in 5 in tech jobs. According to a study by Hired, women received lower salaries compared to their male counterparts at the same company. And women also hold 16% of senior level tech jobs and only 10% of executive roles. Now, this is why I'm here today. This is why I'm talking about this, because looking at some of these facts and looking at the fact that they haven't even been increasing over the last few years just shows that there is a major problem. And not just for women, but also for other minority groups. For instance, I have this chart here that basically displays the employees in top companies in the US, such as Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, and Google. And you can see that the lower percentage are or belong to the minority groups. So you have people who are blacks, people who are mixed, people who are Hispanic, and some of these percentages are just really, really low, especially for most of these companies. And why are we failing? So first things first is that role models, leadership, and false narratives. If you look at some of the top tech people today, we're looking at the likes of Elon Musk, we're looking at the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, we're looking at the likes of Jeff Bezos. And most of the time, you realize that most of the talked about people in the tech space, how many of them are women or how many of them even belong to a certain minority group? groups in the first place. So that actually is a major issue. And it is an issue because sometimes people like me, wanting to go into this particular career path and then not having role models or people to look up to, it's kind of just discouraging for some people actually. And it kind of just puts out a false narrative that, oh, maybe this role is just only for men. Maybe this role isn't even for people like me, people of color, or people from backgrounds, or people from different cultures like me. And that just brings out a false narrative for different people. So another issue that also gaining a lot of traction is the pay gap. So according to Forbes, there's been reports that women actually earn less than their male colleagues in the same role. And most companies are not being transparent about this data in the first place. And I think this is also a major issue because pay inequality has shown to be a very big and a very disturbing issue, especially when it comes to reshaping the tech and redistributing the wealth inclusively amongst different people. So, for instance, people who come out of school are usually affected by student loans, and some people are usually affected by retirement. It won't be fair on those people to bring them out of the poverty line when they're being paid less for the same jobs that are being done by some of your other colleagues who are from different backgrounds as well. Another thing is imposter syndrome and confidence. So, imposter syndrome for me was something I struggled with a lot, especially being in the tech space. I had to get used to the fact that sometimes I would have to be the only woman in the room. Sometimes I would have to be the only Black person in the room. And I had to start getting used to it. But because I couldn't just sit by and see all these things, I decided to start advocating for women and for minority groups to who want to like build a career path in tech. So the thing is, imposter syndrome can deeply affect underrepresented developers. And in the culture of tech, it favors probably one person or someone from a different culture and excludes other people from minority groups, which then can really, really affect your self-confidence because they start asking themselves questions like, how am I even supposed to be here in the first place? Am I even doing the right thing? I feel like there's other people are smarter than me, and that just kind of puts out a major problem um, concerning diversity in the tech space. Why does it matter? And interesting, like, why should I even care in the first place? You should, because diverse teams bring innovation. Diverse people bring about new perspective, new insights, new mindsets and mind shifts from different parts of the world. They bring about a new culture. And that could be very, very good for businesses and for companies, especially who building products for people across the world. It's a very, very interesting factor to consider when it comes to diversity. Diversity helps you to solve problems faster. Diversity teams build better products, and they build better products in the sense that you're not building a product as a company for just one particular race. You're not building a company for the products for one particular gender. It helps you build better products that are inclusive, that are welcoming to people from different backgrounds. Diversity makes your team more creative because people are bringing new ideas, people are bringing new mindset, people are bringing new shifts from any part of the world into your organization. So it makes your team more creative, and diversity attracts talent. Sometimes you're restricted to a particular set of race that you have to hire as a company, especially maybe if you're based in the US and then which is predominantly mainly white people or different race that are there. Sometimes you're limited to that. But when you start saying, oh, okay, you want to bring diversity into your company, you want to also look out for people in minority groups. And that helps you to get people who are actually talented, people who are actually geniuses, people who are actually really smart and to come work for your company. So that's another interesting factor to consider when it comes to diversity. How can we do better? How can we do better as individuals? Not only in the tech space, but we can be the voice of change, whether it's in our workplace, whether it's in our house, whether it's with our friends. We can advocate for diversity. We can talk about it. We can embrace it anywhere that we are. We can also be transparent when it comes to salaries, especially this is for companies. I believe that data and salary transparency is a very key factor, or will be a very key factor to play when it comes to diversity. So we can combat toxic work culture while ongoing learning on the job, which is actually true when you're working with diverse teams. You tend to basically have an inclusive environment that's going to be accepting to different people from different race. So there's no toxic environment over there. You have a more healthy environment for people to work in. So we can also encourage examples in the field. So when we look at the likes of most of the talked about tech people like the Mark Zuckerbergs, we need to also start advocating for people who are minorities, especially for women, especially for Black people, especially for Hispanics or for people from different race. It would be nice um, to have to advocate for these people as well, because they then can be role models for other people to who would like to be in this space. If I see someone who's doing what I want to do in the tech space, being a woman of color, it's going to be an amazing feeling for me because I'm going to feel like, oh yeah, if she did it, then I can do it. And maybe I can do it better. You just never know. So I feel like it's really important to encourage examples in this field, advocate for people, even in your company, people who are doing great things, who are doing amazing stuff, shipping out new products every day. These people might not be known on a larger scale, but it's just good to celebrate them in any way we can. We can also change our hiring process. We can also hire people from minority groups. We can also advocate for them. We can also do things, and basically just create new initiatives for them. So I believe it's important, especially for organizations, to hire people also from like minority groups, people who are underrepresented in tech. It would bring about a lot of diversity into the company, and that would just bring about a lot of good things that would happen for the company, like we just talked about earlier on. So this is just some of the initiatives taking place to boost diversity in tech. It takes people from all backgrounds, you, me, anyone watching this right now, to push the conversation forward. Although it's going to take some time for tech to be as diverse as we like, we will get there sooner if we start recognizing and checking our privileges and being open to listening to different perspectives, which is very, very important in the tech space. So this is just my conclusion, and then here are just a few resources I actually looked out. Thank you all so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this talk.